Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Redux What Ifs, and today I have a special what if. Actually, nah, it ain't special. We just gonna continue. What if Superman was an Invincible? This is gonna be part two, and I believe for part one we left off with doing episode 1 and 2. For Invincible, that would be It's About Time, and Here Goes Nothing with the Flaxens invading, right? So now we're gonna go into episode 3 and episode 4. Yeah, that's pretty much what's gonna happen. So yeah, this is gonna be part 2 of what if Superman was in Invincible, part 2. Without any further ado, man, hope y'all enjoy the what if, and I'm gonna let this intro play and we finna hop straight into it. Oh, be sure to run that first part up too while y'all at it, man. So after y'all watch this one, go back to the previous one and run that shit up, please and thank you. Now let this intro play.
You got my heart racing. Only one I'm chasing. Smoking up blood in your faces. Send his ass to the pavement. If a nigga think I'm playing, Betty on me, she gon' shake it. Niggas hating, but I'm a
Now, we start off like any other normal day. For recap purposes, I'm gonna lay this shit out here right now because I was doing some shit with an AI and I was telling them to write the what if for me. I know, but I was like, yeah, it's never gonna. They actually that AI was actually cooking with that what if, man. I'm about like what, almost 150 chapters in, or yeah, 150 chapters in. Is staying true to the canon and incorporating Superman. And bro, that shit was fire, but it can't beat the imagination. But it did give me some good ideas, man. So let's redact or retcon some stuff right now. So I'm finna do it as like this. So, what you heard in episode 1 is true, but there's gonna be some things that I'm gonna, retcon, since I'm like the god of what ifs right now. So yeah. So the first thing I'm gonna retcon is I'm gonna retcon that Superman has heat vision, heat vision and cold breath. The reason why I'm retconning those things because I want him to actually unlock it while he's like fighting and stuff. So everything is canon, except and the fact that Superman can't fly, but he does learn to fly in this episode. And I'm gonna make Cecile in a GCP. I think that's what it's called. The GDA. Yeah, it's the GDA. My bad. I want to make the GDA more active. I'm trying to find Clark and who he is because Cecile has been watching him and he thinks that what is it? He thinks that he thinks that Clark, or Superboy as he goes by, is a Viltrumite, but he's way more than a Viltrumite. So those are going to be some of the things I'm retconning and, about to, erase from, this timeline, even though it's still canon to the timeline. So just think of it as like a rebirth, a redux, no pun intended. Oh shit, I cracked myself up. But yeah, those are going to be some of the things I'm like, finna redo. So everything else went to canon. And I'm gonna say that. Oh, and another thing I'm gonna say is that Omni-Man doesn't know doesn't know Clark is a Kryptonian just yet. He doesn't know he's a Kryptonian just yet. So he thinks it's just like a freak accident that happened to him that gave him his powers, or something like he figured out that, maybe there's something like, immortal man that exists, so that's what he chalks it up to. So those are going to be some of the things I'm redacting. So without any further ado, this is going to be more of a Clark episode, and then after that we're going to get into what is it? We're going to get into the what fuck, man. We're going to get into the episode where Mark goes to Mars and Superboy actually tags along with him. So yeah, that's gonna be good. So without any further ado, we finna start it off. So Clark wakes up and he's since it's the weekend, he wanted to and after realizing that he might need to learn how to at least like fly, since when he went to the Fortress of Solitude, after he ran there, he realized that he can fly, and Jarrell gave him some pointers, but he was gonna have to let himself go through that and find what works for him, right? And so after he wakes up, he helped his mom out. His mom said he's gonna be picking up John from the hospital. And so Clark wanted to come, but his mom said not to push himself after doing all that stuff for the after saving the world from an alien invasion, right? And so against his mom wishes, he reluctantly agrees to not push himself, and and then she also says that he'll have plenty of time to be with John when he comes back. So after that, he goes out into like a nearby forest, and for some reason he's feeling upset, so he just starts punching everything. Like he's punching the rocks, breaking them, punching the trees, uprooting them and throwing them and shit. And so that's when he was just like took a deep breath, looked around, looked up into the air on some like anime intro shit, and then he started running. He just didn't know where he was gonna run to, but he just started slowly running. He started running like normal, right? Like running like normal, and then he started jumping, right? He jumped, and then that's when he started running faster and jumping a little higher, and then that's when after about the fifth jump, he mustered all the strength in his legs and like took off. He didn't fly yet. He took off into the air, and then he started getting the hang of it a little bit. He started to get the hang of it. He was struggling to keep up, and then he crashed. He crashed down, landed, and as this was going, we're gonna say that the GDA was, they usually keep surveillance of the where Invincible and Omni-Man and basically where all the other heroes are at. But they piqued the interest of like a neighboring farm, or like a rural area that has a farm nearby, since John wanted to keep like the farm thing going, even though they're already well off. He's like a humble man, so we're gonna keep that part. And basically Donald told fucking Cecile that they had like an unidentified person, an unidentified object that was moving at high speeds, and they don't know what it is. And the first thing Cecile was thinking about was Clark in his his suit, for the My Adventures with Superman suit. I'm keeping that shit till like season 2. Middle of season 2, he's gonna rock that firefighter jacket with the hoodie on and a cover mask, man. But Cecile was more interested in that because he never seen somebody display such strength and speed like that. And Cecile, when Clark first got was under the light with the Adam Eve origin story, that's when Cecile first saw him on the cameras, and he was like, wow, if this keeps going, he might even rival Omni-Man. And then that's when he disappeared until like the Flaxen invasion happened, and that's when he showed back up. So he has him as a file, as like a mysterious superhero. But where he opens his file is like pictures of his sightings or pictures that were already online, because he's like Clark is like a motherfucking ghost around this bitch, so it's really hard to find him. He doesn't want to be found unless he wants to be found. So but with Cecile tracking that area, Clark gets back. We're gonna flash back to Clark, where Clark gets back up, and he starts to see what he did wrong, and then he crouches, and the air circles around him as he takes off into the air. And we gonna give that classic Man of Steel Superman first flying takeoff scene as he took off, and he just took off, curved a little, and then just blasted off into he blasted off, almost breaking the sound barrier. He's trying to test out how his flying is. And so he's just, flying around, and he's actually soaring above the skies as he's like, wow, I could fly. I'm pretty sure anybody would be happy if they could fly as fast as Superman. If they had Superman powers for a day, they would probably be happy as shit. I hope they don't be on no Omni-Man shit, but yeah, yeah, because I know I wouldn't be on no Omni-Man shit. But anyway, yeah, he's just enjoying his flight, and as the GDA was tracking this, they had it in a radius. They picked up on Clark's speed again, right? And then that's when Cecile says, "We finally got him. Send in the drones." And so Cecile sends these high-tech jet drones that reaches hypersonic speed. Hypersonic is faster than the speed of sound, not faster than the speed of light or anything. Just making that known, because yeah. People get that shit confused. Just because it says hypersonic, that does not mean he's faster than light. Calm down. Well, Superman is faster than the speed of light. He could go back in time, for fuck's sakes. But we're not gonna get into that. That's way later down the line. But yeah. So as he was flying, he noticed that there was some drones following him, and there were some stealth drones, but his hearing is a little bit better than everybody else's. I'm not saying he has super hearing yet, because he doesn't, but he felt like he was being followed. And then that's when the drones got down with the mini energy weapon, and they started shooting at Clark. And that's when Clark, it kind of stung him a little bit, but it didn't do too much. And then that's when Clark was like, somebody's tracking me, I gotta go faster. And then that's when he compressed his body into a spring, and then he just shot forward, leaving a big sonic boom. And then that's when a jet started following him, and it was this whole fly chase sequence as Superman dived straight down, and then he faked it out, and then he was flying above the water, leaving a water trail following behind him, right? And then that's when he flew into the city. And so he flew low on the street, and then he almost hit a semi truck, but he did a flyby by it, and it was it barely touched his face. And then that's when Clark stopped suddenly, and then he just took off straight up into the air, which left a big shock wave. It didn't break any glass, but it shook everything, and everybody was surprised as they got their phones out, and they started recording the thing. So you just see Superboy in his firefighter suit just flying around, and then he just takes off into the air with jets following him. And so that's when he took off in the air, and then he saw some clouds, right? And so he went in the clouds, and then he started flying through the clouds, and then he went a little bit further up, and then that's when it was a storm cloud shooting lightning and stuff. And so that's when he flew into there, and the jets followed him, right? And so as the jets were following him, he was dodging lightning too. So he was dodging the lightning, and then that's when he stopped, and then the jets were about to run. One of the jets were trying to run straight in towards him, and so that's when Clark grabbed it by the back of it, right? He dodged it and grabbed the back of it, and then that's when he stuck his hand out, And then since I would say that his body can act like a conductor, but even though it kind of hurts him, I would say that his body is like a conductor, even though electricity can flow through his body and it will hurt him. But, it did sting him. He is smoking, so he put his hand up. Lightning struck it, and then he took that energy, that electric energy, and fried the jet. And then that's when Donald reported back, the first drone is down, sir. And then they saw the footage of what he did. He grabbed it, and then he basically shot. He let himself get shocked to fry the circuit, and then he ripped it apart. And so he after that, they didn't see his face, but they saw like his eyes. Let's just say his eyes. And so that's when after that Superman, he starts putting out the little fire that was on his trench coat, his firefighter jacket, because he was like, oh, that was a little too hot. And then the second jet comes, and then that's when Clark takes off further up in the air, and he was almost through the stratosphere when he decided to not fly anymore and let his body come back. And so he dove down in a controlled motion, right? Dove back down into a controlled motion, and he started re-entering the Earth's atmosphere, and he started catching on fire as the jet was coming straight towards him, and then the jet started shooting the weapons, right? It started shooting at him, started shooting the energy weapon. And so that's when Clark got his hand into like a karate hand position, and then he grabbed it. He like thrust his hand forward, right, and it sliced the wing off, right. He like completely clean cut the wing, right. Clean cut the wing, and then he saw a blinking thing, and he grabbed the blinking thing, and then he let the rest of the drone fall. And then that's when Clark realized it was a camera. And then he said in a low voice, like in an anonymous voice, so you can't like tell what his voice is. And he was like, I know you're tracking me. I don't want to be found, so quit trying to find me. And then he crushes the camera, and that's the end of that, right? And so that's when Donald said that, transmission has ended, both drones are down. How do you think we're gonna find them now? He said, he said, this is our dead end. And Cecile was like, this isn't our dead end, but a new opportunity, because while those drones were flying around, I got his he basically made like a makeshift flight pattern for Clark in that area. And he said it may not be enough, but this is great information for now. And so that's when Cecile said, all we have to do is wait. And we fade to black. And now we go back to Clark Kent, which after that whole ordeal, he flies back to his house as John came back just in time, as Clark wanted to show him that he could fly now, as he started floating in the air. And then he was like, you can fly? He was like, yeah, I can finally fly now. And then, they talked about it. John saw the news of what he was doing. And he gave a hard talking to Clark, which is, he's not saying anything bad, but he was like, just he tells Clark that he just wants to be a great father that raised a great son, and he will do great things with his abilities. He said all the lessons that he taught him is all the lessons that he taught him was for this moment. So for whatever you do, if things get tough, don't be afraid to talk to them about it. And so they hug it out, and we fade to black. Now, this next day, we're gonna be talking about how Mark goes to Mars to help people on Mars, and that's when That's when Superboy gets like a notice about it, and then he was like, well, shit, let me go ahead and see what Invincible is up to, because he doesn't know it's Mark yet. So they both fly, right? They both fly, and well, they don't fly. Mark flies to Mars, and that's when Superboy tagged along, and then that's when Cecile was like, he's back. Cause I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that that's when Mark started working with Cecile, and like, you know, he started working with Cecile along with Omni-Man. And so Cecile led the Mars mission with Superboy tagging along, and he really can't do anything about Superboy tagging along because he doesn't know who he is. He knows who Mark is, but he knows who Invincible is. But yeah, he really can't do nothing about that. So you know, with that being said, they pretty much go to Mars and help the people escape, but they in turn realize that the reason why the Martians were keeping the humans there is because they don't want a disease to like break out. They don't want a disease to break out in on Earth. And you know, everything pretty much goes to canon with that. And one of the Martians does escape, because I think one of the humans or one of the Martians or one of them had the disease that went back on back to Earth. And so after that mission, Mark and Clark basically were like, okay, that's cool. And so they it was like, okay, that was a pretty cool mission, while Mark was like Mark came back with Amber, and you know, they kind of made things up. And so after they made it up, they basically, you know, pretty much everything goes to canon with that. And Clark goes back and he tells John and Martha how his first, you know, outer space mission went. He thought it was pretty cool. He went to Mars, and there were actually aliens on Mars too. So after that, we roll into episode 5, which is we're gonna say that which is that's when Battle Beast comes. And I feel like y'all been waiting for this one, y'all. I think y'all want to see Clark versus Battle Beast. Okay, I'll humor it. So, you know, Mark teams up with the villain. I think it's not Bulletproof. I think it is Bulletproof. Shit. Maybe I am wrong. Fuck, I probably need to watch another recap, because I can't keep doing this. But you know, everything pretty much goes to canon. Mark teams up with the local villain to stop a crime lord. The team comes through, and I don't think Eve was there for that episode. So Eve wasn't there. I don't think Duplicate was there. I could be wrong. I know Robot was there and Monster Girl was there. So you know, they do everything that they did in canon with Clark there. And you know, they get to the building, and then that's when you know, that's when everything looked like everything was stacked against him. And then that's when Mark, you know, had his like, you know, angry moment where he snapped and locked the fuck in, not holding anything back. And Clark saw like the brutal side of Mark, and he was like, dang, should I really be doing this? Is this what being a hero is? They're so brutal. But, you know, Clark won't be saying that in a minute. So, that's when, Battle Beast comes, and, he basically mollywops Monster Girl, bro. Like, it wasn't even funny. And so, after he mollywops, Mark first, he does Monster Girl dirty, which causes her to transform back into her, like, tiny version of herself. And, that's when Battle Beast took his, like, mace and was about to smash it on her head. But then that's when Clark stepped in, and he was like, enough. And so he basically punched the mace, right? And it, like, reverberated, and it kind of flew out of Battle Beast's hand. And he was like, your strength reminds me of somebody. And then that's when Battle Beast was like, maybe you could provide some sort of entertainment, as he like speed blitz and hit Clark straight towards the ground. But then as he thought he hit Clark to the ground, he noticed that his fist was being held back as Clark, grabbed it and then spun around and threw him to the other side, as Battle Beast caught himself, obviously, because he's not gonna let himself get caught lacking like that. And then he grabbed his mace and he started swinging it. That's when Clark grabbed Monster Girl at the same time and jumped out the way, like speed blitzing, like all you see is like a grayish whitish blur as Clark just moved fast as shit. Like it looked like he flash stepped. And so, excuse me. And so after that, Battle Beast was like, you are really entertaining. Show me more. And so that's when they begin to fight. Battle Beast experience does, overcap Clark's by miles. And so Clark started getting beat. And so he's getting beat, but since the sun is peeking through, like Battle Beast is noticing like visible, like barely visible damage, like he's not getting scratched. And then he was like, you must be a strong Viltrumite, huh? And then that's when Clark said, I'm not no Viltrumite. I'm still trying to figure out who I am and where I come from. And then that's when Battle Beast energized his mace and hits Clark, which causes Clark to bleed as he gets slammed on the ground. And then that's when Battle Beast stomps on him, making him go through a floor. And then that's when Monster Girl comes back saying that she's not gonna hurt. He won't let this overgrown cat hurt Clark, and she transbacks form. And then that's when he hits her in the face with the fucking mace, and it cracks. Something cracks. So we're gonna say that she got put in critical condition as Clark heard her getting hit over and over in her monster form, right? And then that's when Clark snaps, right? That's when Clark comes back up. And then that's when he sees Battle Beast like tossed her small girl form towards the wall as hard as he could. And then she kind of had like human blood mixed with her monster blood, and so she's just like barely conscious. And then she stands back up, and then that's when Battle Beast kicks her in her stomach, leaving her flat on her face. And she kind of gets like put on a t-shirt. She's not dead, but she's unconscious, fighting for her life right now. And then that's when Battle Beast was like, this is what happens when you play hero. If you play hero, you better be ready to die like one. He was like, but this girl, even though she has a very strengthish transformation, it still wasn't enough. He was like, and then that's when he that's when he took his claws out, and he was like, but no worries, I'll make her death, very merciful. And then that's when Clark, snapped basically, and he full speed tries to blitz blitz Battle Beast, right? So they both clash fists, but then that's when Battle Beast realized he's getting pushed back. And then that's when Clark puts this man in the meanest 4-piece combo flying. So Battle Beast tries to get him with a hook, but that's when Clark hits him with a gut shot, uppercut, right? And then he goes to the right, hits him with a right hook, and then for the final hit, he grabs both of his hands, puts him up in the air, and swings him down in the most Dragon Ball Z style formation. And he smacked the shit out that man's head, Battle Beast, making him go through like 3 floors. And then that's when Clark followed him after them, crashing down on it, right? And then that's when Battle Beast was, that's when Clark was punching him and punching him, and then that's when Battle Beast grabbed Clark and then threw him off of him, right? And then Clark caught himself, and then that's when his bioelectricity aura started emanating, because that's when he unlocked a new power, right? So that's when Clark's eyes started glowing, right? And so his whole aura basically started electrifying, basically like in My Adventures with Superman. When he gets mad, his aura starts electrifying, right? And so that's basically what happened. And so with this time that's when his eyes glowed red, and then that's when he looked at Battle Beast as he shot like a beam of pure heat vision at him. He shot like a beam of pure heat vision at him. Like, this shit was searing hot as Battle Beast tried to block, but he noticed that his arm was getting burnt, and it was actually piercing through his skin as he pressed down on his suit, and it summoned like a shield, but that shield was cracking. And then that's when Clark closed his eyes, because he couldn't control it. This is like his first time, like using it. So he closed his eyes, and then that's when Battle Beast used this time to escape. As Clark he was still upset, but then that's when he grabbed Battle Beast by the foot and then slammed him back down. And then that's when he used his heat vision again. And then that's when Battle Beast started screaming, but he fought through the pain and used his hands to like cover Clark's face. And then that's when Clark's anger wore off, because it kind of like blew up in his face, so it kind of disoriented him. And then he grabbed Clark by his face, right, and then just up and slammed him on his shit, bro, causing Clark to get knocked out, because even when he's like powerful and shit, his laser vision does drain like his solar energy reserves and his solar energy. So Clark's still strong, but like he had to like he was using it at like such a intensity that it kind of drained through his energy. So he was like, that's when Battle Beast was like, he was like, I never seen a Viltrumite do that. He was like, but then again, you're maybe not a Viltrumite. You might be something else. And then that's when Battle Beast was hinting that he could either be like one of those races from the comics that play with universes, like universes, I think, or like they could like play with galaxies. I gotta do some more research on Invincible comics, but yeah, I just gotta see about it. But that's when Battle Beast left. The person that was behind everything left, and then that's when the GDA showed up with Mark and helping the other teams that was there. And so after that, Clark got up after that. Clark, woke up when the GDA was there, right? And so when he woke up, he realized that, it's nighttime. He was trying to figure out how long he was out, but then that's when he heard the GDA come in, and he was like, maybe it wasn't for too long. And so that's when Clark, after clearing his head, after getting knocked out, he flew back up, and then he got a Monster Girl to the GDA base, as Cecile told him where exactly it was at. And so Robot had a backup body, so he flew with Clark, so he knew where the GDA base was at. And so with that being said, he took Monster Girl, put her in the hospital, and then that's when Clark was flashing back to Battle Beast in their fight. And then that's when he was like, if there's more abilities that he has, maybe he could learn about it through the fortress. And so that's when he walked out, and then Cecile, which he uses teleportation that he has, Cecile put his hand on his shoulder, saying like, so now that you know where the base is at, are you in? And Superman was like, and then no, that's when Superboy was like, he was before that, Cecile was like, you see what the heroes have to face. And while I am confident in our heroes, we need somebody like you. He was like, I watched you fight today. He was like, I have cameras everywhere. And he was like, I saw you fight with Battle Beast, and you're one of the few contenders that can actually keep up with him. So I'm not asking you. He was like, I'm not asking you for, like, you know, he said he's not asking him to, like, you know, he doesn't want to stalk Clark. He just wants Clark on the good side. And then that's when Clark said, I already been on the good side. He was like, I just don't want you to find out who I really am until I am ready to tell you what my identity is outside of being a hero. He was like, there's only a few select people that know that. And I don't need you he said, I don't need you harassing me or the people that I love. Because once I tell you, I'm not going to tell you who I'm related to. He was like, but I kind of figured since you're that type of person to go behind people's backs, I should just be prepared for it. But until then, I respectfully decline your offer. But if you need my help, you can reach me through Mark. And then that's when Clark walked away, and then that's when the ceiling opened up, and that's when Clark started floating. And then once it opened all the way up, he floated out, and then he just blasted off into the air. And that's where I'm going to be leaving this What If off right here. I appreciate y'all for all the love and support, man. I'm finna do a double upload. So after this, I will be doing Virgil Tatsumi. Yes. And I think I might do another What If, man. I'm feeling really good for some reason. So I might, you know, throw a double upload on y'all, man. Or maybe a triple upload to keep my channel active. But I hope y'all enjoyed this Invincible What If. It was a little short episode, but you know, after this, we're gonna be We're gonna be tackling the Reanimans, the Reaniman, I think that's what it's called, the Reanimans, right? And so after that, we're gonna be tackling those, and then Omni-Man's betrayal. And then we're going to have Mark versus Omni-Man and Clark versus So Mark and Clark versus Omni-Man. So y'all just stay tuned for that, because that is going to be fire. It's going to be fire as fuck, bro. I'm going to be real. It's going to be fire as fuck. But, yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this What If, man. It was a little short episode. You know, I still got to, like, watch Invincible, because I know I'm kind of slacking on some things that I could be better at. I'm gonna watch some more recaps, and I might put a character roster up on here so I could, like, remember who I'm talking about, because I remember, but sometimes I, like, stutter over it. So just bear with me with that just bear with me on that, y'all. But other than that, man, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support y'all been showing me, man. Like I really couldn't have gotten this far. I saw that we hit 75 subscribers, bro. We are 25 subscribers away from 100. Bro, like, that shit, we're almost there, bro. We're almost there. We are almost there. So I'm just gonna keep grinding for y'all. Y'all can always drop me some suggestions. If y'all want some customized personal what ifs that I want me to do, just hit up my email. Just give me a suggestion. Give me a suggestion. If it's a character that I don't know, just give me the powers and abilities, and give me what show that I'm well familiar with. I'm well familiar with Naruto. We'll say Naruto, High School DxD, My Hero, motherfucking Young Justice, what else? Jobless Reincarnation, and it was another show. Man, maybe I'm forgetting about it. And I'm trying to do something cool for, like, the Invincible verse. I might get into the Boys verse, but I don't know. I was thinking about doing What If Hancock was in the Boys. That shit is going to be funny as fuck. But we'll get to that later down the line. But other than that, man, I really do appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Click right here to subscribe. Click right here to watch the other previous videos. I made a movie for Maury in a high school DxD complete series, so that's like a 3-hour long movie. And don't forget to run up the Final Fantasy 15 What If with Noctis and the Young Justice. But other than that, this is Redux What If signing off. I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Get me to 100 subs. Get this Redux gang strong. And I'm out.